What's up, guys? Dark Side here with Vital MX. Today I have the rental off-road manager, Paul Perebijnos, on the line. What's up, Paul?
What's up, Jamie? How you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. Really happy to talk to you. Listen, we got MXdN coming up really quick, September 24th and 25th at Redbud once again. And I know how much this is like a passion event for you. Give us a little bit of background on why this event is so important to you.
Man, well, I think it starts out with just when I was being a fan of motocross, right? So I grew up, kind of started racing in the kind of the early 90s, right? I was a huge McGrath fan. I remember, Team USA going over to Europe and kind of just smoking everybody, right? With the McGrath and Lamson and all their new Fox gear and their red, white, and blue stuff. And yeah, that was early memories of Motocross of Nations for me. And then, yeah, as I progressed, kind of, I obviously was racing my whole life. I turned professional at 18, and then I started working in the industry as a mechanic at like 22. And then, yeah, I got a chance to be a part of Motocross of Nations in the past as a mechanic, with Pro Circuit, with Team Great Britain, with Dino a couple times. So, yeah, I've kind of been through it on that side as well, like preparing bikes and sending them over. And yeah, I've been at some of these big races like France and other places where, St. John, actually, the last time Team USA won. And yeah, just the feeling, the hair on the back of your neck and goosebumps all day long, like the feeling that you get, you can't really experience it anywhere else. It's literally the highest. I think it's the highest level of motocross. And yeah, I'm passionate about it. I'm obviously an American. And this race is important to me, and we have really good athletes here. And I think we've kind of lost our way a little bit with this race in the past. It's become difficult to attend, and there's a few little things, that make it difficult for us. So yeah, it's just, I wanted to do something to try to correct that.
Yeah, you were recently named Team USA Development Consultant. Tell us what that means, what that title means, and how that came to be.
Well, really it started, I guess I'll try to make a long story short, but really it started back in late June. I was at the Snowshoe GNCC. I was talking to a good friend of mine, Andy Callanan. He's the director of off-road racing at KTM. He puts on a golf event to raise money for Team USA to go to the international 6 days enduro. So, we were chatting actually on the starting line for a mountain bike race about it. And, I always support his event as, from Renthal, because we want that off-road community to know that, Renthal cares about their really big race. And we want to support Team USA to try to win every year, right? The North American market is really important to us. It's the biggest market for us. So yeah, we want to show our support. And then that night I couldn't put the idea down. I was like, why don't we do something like this for Motocross of Nations, and who would do it and how could we do it? And I think it takes a special person that has a lot of different connections on both sides, that understands racing and is accepted into that racing world, right? So I've been a mechanic. I've obviously won a national championship in the past with Dean Wilson. So a lot of those guys in the pits, under the awnings and the semis, are my friends. And yeah, since transitioning to working for Pro Taper and now for Renthal, I've learned a whole nother side of the industry and how the commerce of the entire industry works and the part that racing plays. And then, yeah, I just started talking to friends, meaning like team managers, Lars Lindstrom and Jeremy Coker and Dan Fahey and Ian Harrison and Mitch Payton. I all these guys will pick up my phone call. So really started to take the temperature of Motocross of Nations and Team USA and how everyone felt about it, how it was working. And yeah, I learned a lot. And really it came to be, that I just couldn't put this idea down. I thought, if I don't do it, who will do it? So, yeah, put the idea together, and kind of, Lars and Jeremy Coker both spoke to Mike Pelletier on behalf of me at Redbud. And then Mike Pelletier and I started talking. He loved the ideas. And simply we felt that I had to officially be part of the team for this to work, to officialize the tournament, to make this event go. People needed to see that I was part of this thing and could have some control of the funds and what we were doing with the money that we raised. So yeah, that's how Team USA Development Consultant came to be. really, my job is to re-energize Team USA. And honestly, it's very similar to the reasons I got hired to come here to Rental, and that was to re-energize Rental. So that's what I'm doing. And the golf tournament that we're putting on after Paula, the RaiseIt4USA golf tournament is one thing. There's a lot of different ideas and things I think we can do in the future. And the other added benefit is I can be another person that is focused on Team USA at Redbud and at future Motocross of Nations. Right. So, I think it's a hard thing to do given the staff that we have. There's a lot of work to be done and a lot of eyes that need to be focused on Team USA, and everyone has other jobs and things to do. And I think it's hard. So I think I can be an added person kind of that, the race teams and the riders and the team managers know and trust. I think they would take my opinion, right? And I could be another set of eyes to help Roger, to help Christina Denny and Mike Pelletier and everybody on Team USA, so we can try to get our guys working together, to be organized, communicate well, right? And just make sure everyone's on the same page, just so we can present and be our best form of ourselves at Redbud and at future events.
Yeah, and you've been pretty vocal about some decisions in the past. Has there been any pushback from Roger or anybody part of MXdN about you being involved?
No, not at all. And honestly, I want to thank Roger for being so acceptive to me, to this idea. He's been awesome. I mean, we communicate through email, right? We know each other already, through our rental relationship. Roger actually offered me a job years ago to work for Dean Wilson, his team. So we go back. He's been awesome. He's been communicative, and accepting, and there's a lot of feelings about Team USA and thoughts of how things happen. But honestly, in my experience so far, everything has been a team decision. We're not carrying out any one person's orders. And I'm not going to be a yes man through this either, right? I feel like I have the experience and the knowledge base to lend an opinion that could be valued. And I think so far everyone's making group decisions. It's been really cool so far. And honestly, I think this is just the start of again, re-energizing this thing and trying to switch the narrative in the pits a little bit about going to this race. Cause I think it's become kind of a burden for a lot of these teams. It's really difficult to go. It's expensive to go. So my goal is to switch that narrative and get people excited about going again and to prioritize this race again. So, cause I think it's really important. It's important to our US fans. It's important to our US industry. The last time we won was 2011. Social media was barely around back then. There's nobody. Yeah. I mean, it was a different time, and there's nobody racing today with the exception of Dungy, who came back from retirement, that had won this race. So I really want our US riders to feel that feeling and know what it's like to win the biggest motocross race on the planet. Cause that's really what it is. It's our Olympics of motocross. So, honestly, so far everything's been great with Team USA, and I'm thankful that they've welcomed me to the team, and I'm excited for Redbud. I think it's going to be cool.
Yeah, you mentioned the team unity and making decisions as a team. I feel like I've heard you talk about wanting like a neutral compound for the camaraderie, maybe having the guys all under one tent, or at least having an area where everybody can come together. What are some of the ideas that you want to make sure to implement?
Yeah, I mean, just our guys spending more time together is going to be really important. The golf tournament itself is part of that. I really hope we can get I hope we can get Team USA to play a round of golf together, actually, just so they can hang out with each other away from the dirt bike track and spend 4 hours together just hanging out and chatting. So, it kind of all started to switch, I think, years ago when, a lot of companies are growing and started developing unified global presences, right? Like, KTM, for example, I know they have that saying, one team or whatever it is for the entire, I'm sure I'm getting it wrong, but I think a lot of it started back then when riders and bikes of country teams were no longer starting to park together because they had to kind of stay at their rig because that's where all their sponsorship branding was and their suspension tech and all those different things. So really, I want to take a page out of Team France's book, and that every year they create a unified neutral compound that is specifically for their team. And that's really what a lot of this fundraising event will go to. Granted, this year at Redbud is a little bit easier. Christina Denny's been great, and she's kind of been in front of this already from the get-go, and we're going to have that at Redbud. But we need to be able to afford to pay for something like that at Ernée in France next year as well. So, I want to get the team together so we can spend and hang out together, have some more time together. I think it's a big ask today, and with how our sport has evolved, to try to get all the bikes to park with each other once again under the same semi, right? When you have different brands and different things, everything's very highly technical these days. So there's a lot of staff that comes along with all that stuff. So I felt that would be too big of an ask to try to get all the bikes to park together. So I don't think we need that, but I think we do need a place to go that's highly exclusive, that's comfortable, that's climate controlled, that has catering to where our guys can hang out, we can watch video, we can just eat meals together and spend time together away from the noise. And then you go back to your bike, you go back to your semi, you get your bike and go to the starting line and do your job, So, that's kind of what the vision is for this fundraiser is to create a unified compound and to lend some support to these teams going. It costs a lot of money to send staff and bikes and equipment overseas. Granted, I know we're going to Redbud this year, so it's just a semi drive away, but it ain't going to be cheap either, right? All these teams been paying more for diesel all year than they had planned on. So, when this race rolls around, a lot of teams do feel that, hey, this is a burden. It's not something that we're contracted to do, that our riders have to do, and it's expensive to go. It's a lot of work. So I get it's totally difficult, but yeah, like with anything, inject some money into some things and you can improve things.
I think a lot of people probably think that, well, maybe the teams cover everything or the AMA covers everything, but that's not the case.
Yeah, so the AMA does lend some support, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not nearly enough to get an entire staff and team overseas or even to Redbud. Right? Like these riders need a mechanic, they need their team manager, they need a suspension technician, they need their, electronics guy in order to show up correct. And we are Team USA. Like I believe we're the greatest nation in the world. Sure. I do. And I want to show up correct. Like we show up at the Olympics. I want to have the best gear, the best compound, the best bikes, the best riders. And I'm sorry, I that's what I want. I think we're deserving of it. Like we have great riders. We have a great history in this event. And honestly, we just need to get more organized and have some funding to do it correctly.
Yeah, and it starts with, as of right now, RaiseIt4, the number 4, RaiseIt4USA.com. You have a golf tournament and auction, I believe, set up at Red Hawk Golf Club in Temecula on September 4th, the day after Paula. How many people are involved with this, like helping you put this? You're not doing this all by yourself, are you? I mean, this is a pretty big endeavor.
Yeah, well, I mean, right now it's mostly just me and my wife. It's been a lot of work for sure, but you were on the very first email that I sent out, kind of underground this thing through the industry dark side, and that was a month ago now, and yeah. That was it started by just creating a hashtag, RaiseIt4USA, and really like this is what I do at Renthal, right? Like I launch products, I organize events, like I try to make Renthal the coolest brand in our space. And that's kind of really what this is. So it started out as a hashtag, and now it's kind of turned into the name, the call sign for this event, right? Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's going to be Sunday after Paula. We got a lot of riders coming. We got a lot of sponsors that continue to come on board. I mean, it's being updated daily, and that's just, it's me and my wife, me working the phones and doing some extra emails. And yeah, my wife is very skilled as far as graphic design goes. So she's built the entire website. She's collecting all the funds. She's updating, as sponsors come in and creating social media graphics for people to share. So we're treating this as a brand, and really it's just a passion project for myself. I've been in this industry my entire life. I've made my living right in this industry. So I just think it's a good time to give back, to do something. To organize this, and again, it was an idea that I couldn't put down, and if I just felt like I felt like I could do this, and I don't know who else would. So yeah, it's obviously I've bitten off a lot of extra work for these next 2 months, but I truly believe it's worth it. I appreciate everyone's feedback so far, and I honestly feel that this is something needed. and can navigate the politicalness of this entire kind of thing, and just kind of, lift the entire Team USA to be better in the future and be better this year.
Yeah, I love the idea of it, the camaraderie that will come from something like this. But you mentioned yesterday through text that there were some big developments that came up. What's new? What have you not talked about?
Yeah, so things are still coming to fruition every single day. But right now, I'm really proud of the sponsors that we have. Obviously, Renthal is on board, Lucas Oil Pro Motocross, Cobra Puma Golf, Guts, Fly, KTM, Epoxy It, Husqvarna, Gas, W, Honda, 100%, Ethica, Maxima, Dunlop. All these brands have already come on. We actually secured a deal with Spot Network TV yesterday to where the golf event will be broadcast live over Spot Network TV, and they're going to be donating a portion of their viewership to the Team USA Fund. W is actually hosting an event at John Anderson's father-in-law's museum, Tom White's museum. He's going to be donating all the proceeds of that event to the Team USA Fund. We have a lot of cool prizes, right? So you say you're coming out to golf, like there's still going to be opportunity for you to win stuff. Just being entered in the contest, or I'm sorry, in the tournament. We have lunch being provided by Whole Shop Pizza. They're going to bring their ovens down and set up at the outdoor pavilion that we have at the course, and have pizza ready for everyone as they finish their rounds. You'll get a sleeve of Team USA golf balls as kind of like to commemorate the event. You'll be entered into a drawing for a RaiseIt4USA branded Stasic. You'll get to compete in the putting challenge on the practice putting green for a year supply of Ethica product. I thought that's pretty cool. And also we're giving away a $1,000 gift card from motorsport.com. And again, that's just for signing up. And then besides that, there's a lot of cool contests on the course as well. So we are using a 4-man team scramble format. We will be giving a nice trophy to the winning team and medals for the top for each player of the top 3 teams, right? So 12 medals for the podium finishers. And, we're going to have like a long drive contest on one of the holes, right? So if you drive your ball the longest, you'll get a set of custom wheels from W. What else do we have? We have closest to the pin contest, and you can win a driver, a custom wedge, and a custom putter from Cobra Puma Golf. And we have a couple other long drive and hole-in-one kind of ideas and prizes that I'm working on. And if one comes to fruition, I'll be very excited to share it, because you'll hopefully be able to drive away in something if you're able to sink a hole-in-one. So I think that'll be a really big draw as well. So yeah, it's coming together, right? The entry fee, covers obviously our course rental fee. That's I threw my credit card down for that just to try to get this going, right? And so I hope to get a really good turnout. We can accept 144 golfers. So I really hope we can get as many people there as possible. And then, the sponsorship of all our sponsors, that's going to help to kind of offset any costs that we incur. And then everything's going to go to Team USA. So I really hope to be able to pass out some big checks to team managers like Lars Lindstrom and Jerry McCokers, who are sending, Eli Tomac and Chase Sexton to this race and help burden some of the expense to go this year. And again, I hope this thing grows year after year, because we're going to need even more money next year to go to France and do it properly. So
this is something you've thought about for years, and you're really working, and knowing the little that I do, that this is going to be something successful and grow into something huge in the next few years. I could see it being, just like an annual event that everybody looks forward to.
Honestly, I truly hope so. And you're getting to know me a little bit more, and any of my friends that know me, I don't do anything half-ass.
Right.
I really, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to put my full effort into it. And I do that with my job at Renthal, with whether it be racing motorcycles or fantasy or anything, right? This is the same situation. I want to try to do the best I can. I want to win. I want to be successful. And if I do something, I'm going to put my full effort into it. So I wish I could say it was years in the making, but it really wasn't. It kind of started in mid-June, but it's been a lot of late night typing and early morning typing and thinking and trying to organize this thing. But again, it's similar to what I do now, I guess. It's connecting a bunch of things. It is my first golf tournament I've ever run. So, but I've been part of many of them before, right? We have the Brett Downey golf tournament out here that I've taken part in. I've obviously done the International 6 Days Enduro golf fundraiser that happens in Snowshoe every year. That's really what this is modeling after. Like, I'm not groundbreaking any ideas here. I'm kind of just borrowing their idea, you know? So I have an idea of how it can work, and really I just hope it comes to fruition. And I really do think that it's going to be a really good time. Like, I think everyone's going to be ready to cut loose after a long season. I hope we have really good weather. I think we're gonna have a really fun, industry heavy crowd. Like, I know we got a lot of team managers and mechanics and riders coming to play. So I think it's going to be a really cool industry gathering. And again, it's wide open to the public.
Yeah.
So
that's what I was about to ask.
You know, it's totally wide open to the public. And yeah, we'd love for you to come out and play if you can. If you can't play, we have a donation link on the website. Again, it's RaiseIt4USA.com. So there's a bunch of different ways to get behind this thing. If you love American motocross, if you love the change that's coming to Team USA, if you're part of the American industry and you sell products in the US, and I think there's a bunch of different ways to get behind this thing. And we're trying to create value for our sponsors too, right? So all our sponsors will get branding at the event. We're going to have a podium. We're going to have a photo wall. We'll have obviously some prizes that we're giving away. I have my social media guy coming out to document the entire event. I've hired 2 filmers that will be driving around and filming everything. We want to produce some videos to share the event with the world afterwards. Also something specific for each sponsor so they can share their participation in the event afterwards. And really, I think it's a telltale for the companies that truly care about American motocross and the American industry. They're going to be part of this event. Stay tuned to Renthal social media, to my social media, to RaiseIt4USA.com. Again, space is limited. So if you want to play, get in there and sign up now. Like I said, if you can't make it and you want to donate, it can be anything from $1 to whatever. We'll take anything, because all of this is going to go towards again, really organizing our effort, making our riders comfortable, making our teams excited about going again. And this is year 1. We're going to come back. We're going to do it again next year as well. And obviously I've vetted a lot of this out too. So I know there's plenty of talk around, different series are changing and we're racing through this certain date now. But I talked to all the powers that be before I even started this, because I knew I didn't want to start this and have to stop it after 1 year. Motocross of Nations will now, and is for long as I can foresee from what the powers that be have told me, will continue to be our year-end kind of Super Bowl event that happens right after both MXGP and US racing wraps up. So I think we'll have a good calendar again next year for us to participate. And honestly, I really hope that we can go to France next year with numbers 1, 2, and 3 on our bikes. That would be cool.
Paul, I appreciate you hanging out with us for a few minutes and giving us the background on all this. I'm looking forward to it. I'm about to go, I guess I'm going to go buy a driver and start practicing hitting golf balls. So
I like it. Get ready.
I need to get a little bit of skill if I want to maybe get a hole-in-one or close to the pin. I got to get some practice.
Yeah, there'll be prizes to have to be had if you can manage that. So I think it's going to be real cool.
Well, I'm going to head out and do that, but thank you for taking some time to explain what's going on, and I'm looking forward to it.
All right. Thanks, Starside. I appreciate the time.
Anytime, Paul. Thanks, man.